Welcome to Unbound, the podcast with Beth Curry, author, storyteller, and survivor. This is where books meet real life, where Beth reads chapters from her work and breaks free from the traditional audiobook format, diving deeper into the personal experiences, lessons, and liberation behind every page. Nothing is off limits. Let's get unbound.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 18 of Unbound Season 2, The Weight of Truth. I'm Beth Curry, and today I should be reading you Chapter 18, which is your mental fitness toolkit, but I'm not going to read this chapter to you like I have with all the others. Chapter 18 is designed to be a reference manual, so it's a chapter you need to come back to kind of again and again when you need a refresher on a specific tool or concept. It's organized with headers and bullet points and quick reference guides and structured sections that make sense on paper, but would be absolutely mind-numbing to listen to in audio format. Reading you a list of high protein and fiber starches to keep around with fiber counts and calorie counts would make both of us want to gouge our eyes out, right? Or ears, whatever body part is most relevant to this torture. So instead of reading the whole thing, I'm just going to kind of summarize, talk about what's in it and why it matters and how you should use it. I've said before, I do have manuscripts available for purchase through the Coffee account. The link is in the show notes. The manuscripts are for entire books, for people who want to read along, because I'm not traditionally publishing right now. But for the case of this chapter and possibly the next one too, I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to look into that before I write the next show. I will absolutely offer you a free PDF of the chapter, the full chapter, as a reference document that you can save on your phone or print out or screenshot or stick on your fridge, whatever. Just message me. My contact info is also in the show notes. I'll just send it to you. No charge, no strings attached. Just ask. It just keeps this particular chapter easy. So Chapter 18 is your complete mental fitness toolkit. It's everything that works regardless of which method you're using to lose weight. Whether you're changing your lifestyle naturally, using medication, or you had surgery, these mental strategies are what make the difference between temporary change and permanent transformation. And it's divided into 5 main sections. So there's the core mental framework, the reality loop, the facts, thoughts, feelings, actions, results, that deja vu kind of thing that, how to separate the facts from thoughts and specific thought reframes for common situations like scale drama and food temptation and body image struggles and stuff. The food relationship tools, the worth it versus the not worth it framework, the hunger scale, living in that 4 to 6 kind of range, permission-based eating principles, my favorite food snob philosophy that changed everything for me. There's the urge management system, the groove shift method for cravings, the temptation jar system, or whatever you're calling it, emergency responses for difficult moments when you want to give up or you're being sabotaged. There's the mindset and growth tools, the learn and move on strategy for setbacks, the real life standards versus perfectionism and separating your body from your self-worth, building confidence where physical changes happen, and the daily implementation, simple micro habits that actually work. 6 core daily habits of people who succeed. Thank you, Rachel, for this. Smart carbohydrate strategies, practical nutrition information like high protein and fiber starches to keep around, everything we've kind of talked about throughout this season, organized in a way that makes it easy to find exactly what you need when you need it. So why you need this as a reference. So the thing about transformation work, you're going to forget things. Again, this podcast format, I don't know, like how well it really translates. If you're certainly not memorizing. I'm willing to bet nobody is taking notes, even if you intended to. If you are, that's damn impressive, and you deserve some sort of a shout out on the podcast or something. So let me know in the group. Anyway, you're going to be in the middle of a crisis moment, probably standing in front of your fridge at midnight, having an urge to eat everything in sight. And you're going to need to remember how the groove shift method works. But do you remember episode 4 or whenever the hell I talked about that? Or you're going to step on a scale and see a number you don't like and spiral into that whole, I'm so fat, nothing works for me, I should just give up thinking. And you're going to need one of those thought reframes immediately. Maybe you'll make a choice you regret and start that shame spiral that we've all been on. And you're going to need to remember the learn and move on strategy before one meal becomes one day, becomes 1 week, becomes giving up entirely. So chapter 18 is kind of designed for those moments. It's your emergency toolkit. Your reference manual, your come back to this when you forget chapter. I designed it to be something that you can screenshot sections of and keep on your phone or whatever, something you can print out and stick on your fridge, something you can highlight and tab and return to over and over again. But what I know after a decade of maintaining this 200-pound weight loss, you don't need more information. You need the right information at the right time, and you need the tools you can actually use when you're struggling, not just concepts that sound good when you're feeling motivated. So the tools that changed everything for me, it- they'll be in the chapter anyway, if you want the PDF for free or if you purchase the manuscript of the entire book. The reality loop, understanding facts don't create your feelings. Your thoughts about the facts create your feelings. That changed everything. The scale showing a certain number is just a fact. I'm so fat is a thought about that fact. But this is just information is a different thought about the same fact. Same fact, different feelings and actions depending on which thought you choose, right? The worth it versus not worth it framework. So this is how I stopped wasting calories on food I didn't even really enjoy. Before eating anything, I ask myself, is this worth it to me right now? If yes, I enjoy it fully without the guilt. If no, I don't waste my time or energy on it. It's that simple. And I don't really like kale. So I'll do romaine instead, or spinach, or even iceberg. I don't have to eat kale because I'm dieting. I'm not dieting. I don't like kale. I'm not going to eat kale. Anyway, so that's the food snob kind of stuff that you'll read about in the chapter. The groove shift method, how I manage food addiction urges, stop, breathe, win. Rachel, again, thank you so much. Recognize the urge, remind myself it will pass in 90 seconds, breathe through it instead of eating through it. Every time I do this successfully, I put a bean or lentil in my jar. 100 victories often equals 5 to 10 pounds because each one represents a time I would have eaten when I wasn't hungry. The learn and move on. This is what keeps me from spiraling after making choices I regret. Just ask myself, what can I learn for next time? Choose a helpful thought, like this was information, not failure. And then immediately do one thing that aligns with my goals, like having a drink of water or whatever. No shame spiral, no giving up, just learn and move on. Don't beat myself up for shit. Going back to the food snob philosophy, it sounds ridiculous, but it's pretty revolutionary. Do not settle for those foods. Choose the version you actually like. Honor your taste buds. I don't eat tilapia. That makes me gag. I'll eat fish sometimes, but it's going to be a fish that I like to eat. I eat foods I actually enjoy. And because of that, I eat less overall because real satisfaction leaves you full and done instead of constantly hunting for something else. And permission-based eating, big, 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 big deal. No food is off limits. None. There is not one food that is off limits unless you don't like it and you're being a food snob. This reduces the rebellious forbidden fruit mentality that leads to binge eating. So when you know you can have something anytime, the urgency to have it right now decreases. So when food isn't forbidden, it loses its power over you. And all of these tools are explained in detail in Chapter 18 with specific examples, step-by-step instructions, and practical applications. Here's what I want you to do with Chapter 18. Get the PDF, message me, and I'll send it to you. Just keep it on your phone, print it out, make it accessible for when you need it. Identify your top 3 to 5 tools, which ones resonate most with you right now. Which ones do you need most urgently? Start with just those. You can screenshot them or write them out, put them somewhere you'll see them when you need them. Phone wallpaper, sticky notes in your bathroom mirror, whatever, index cards in your wallet, whatever works for you. Come back to it regularly. This isn't a read once and forget chapter. It's your comeback chapter. When you're struggling, when you forget, when you need a refresher, just come back to it and practice one tool at a time. Don't try to implement everything at once. Pick one tool and practice it until it becomes automatic, and then add another one. The chapter ends with some core principles that summarize everything. Eat with intention, not guilt. Choose foods you actually enjoy. Pick the carbs you love the most. Plan, don't wing it. Prioritize satisfaction and fullness. Practice mindful eating. Expect setbacks and normalize them. Build in flexibility. Keep food neutral. Think lifestyle, not diet, right? Because we need to stop dieting. Okay? And the reminder, these are tools, not rules. So use what serves you. Adapt what doesn't. Trust yourself to know the difference. These tools work because they're based on psychology and not punishment. They work because they treat you like a human being with preferences and emotions and a life to live, not a robot that just needs better programming, right? They work because they address the mental game, not just the physical mechanics of eating less and moving more. They work because they're designed for real life, not for perfect conditions that absolutely don't exist. They work because I use them to lose over 200 pounds and maintain that loss for over a decade now. They work because thousands of people in my communities have used them to transform their relationships with food and their bodies. They work because they're sustainable. They work because they don't require you to be perfect. They work because they meet you where you are and help you get to where you want to be. And they work because they're based on this fundamental truth. You are not broken, you are not lazy, and you don't have to earn your worth through suffering. You should have that memorized by now. You're just someone learning to treat yourself like someone you love. And the rest kind of follows from that. So if you want the full chapter 18 as a PDF reference document, just message me. My contact information is in the show notes, email, social media, however you want to reach me. Just ask for the Mental Fitness Toolkit PDF and I'll send it to you. No charge, no strings, no trying to sell you anything, just the tools you need to make this work. That's what this whole season has been about, giving you the real tools, the real truth, the real strategies that actually work in real life. No diet culture bullshit, not temporary fixes, not punishment disguised as self-care, just the tools you need to become the person that you're meant to be. So we've covered a lot of ground together so far, from the reality loop to food addiction, from getting uncomfortable to plastic surgery, right? The mirror moment, the disease you've never heard of, family reactions, the daily battle, the scarcity trap, mental fitness toolkit. Everything you need to transform your relationship with food and your body is in these episodes, and it's in this book. You can purchase the manuscript if you want. Everything you need to maintain that transformation forever is in these chapters. Having the information, though, like I said, isn't enough. You have to actually use it. You have to practice it. You have to come back to it when you forget. You have to choose it again and again until it becomes who you are. That's the work. That's the daily battle. That's the price of admission to the life that you actually want to live. And it's worth it. Every single day, it's worth it. So yeah, that's it for this episode. All my content's free, always will be. Keep saying it. If you want to support the production costs, though, the information is in the show notes. And thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks for listening to Unbound with Beth Curry. Join the conversation in the Facebook group or visit authorbethcurry.com. Want to support the show? Head to ko-fi.com/unbound podcast. Until next time, stay unbound.